No, you ain't. You gon' bump it up. Bump it up. You gon' bump it down. Bump it down. You don't get on slow. Get on slow. And bump it all around.
That's what I was celebrating. I've been trying all morning to get that fucking intro to upload, and it kept saying that there was an error, there was an error, there was an error. And as I hit the 30-second countdown timer to start the show, it completed. So that's why you saw me over here going, yes.
Yeah, the audience didn't see it, but I saw Justin dancing in the background over here on my end. It's like, are you good? Everybody good?
Yes, I was very excited. I put a lot of work into that little intro, and then it was like literally time to start the show, and it hadn't finished uploading after I tried like 3 separate times to get it to upload. I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to use this thing, and I'm going to be really disappointed. Although the last time we had one that didn't want to upload, it was the Elizabeth Duffy one, and we kind of got off to a rocky start anyway. Everybody just kind of shit the bed right out the gate, so we just did a quick reset and ran it once it finished uploading. So we could have done that too.
That's too bad D-Dubs wasn't here to see that one.
Was he not here for the Elizabeth Duffy one?
No, I mean this one we just
this
did.
one? Yeah. He'll have to tune in.
We need to get his professional take on how skilled she is at sneaking around or whatever.
I mean,
is this why she gets nosebleeds?
Probably.
Earlier in the case, weren't they talking about her nosebleed problem?
Probably.
Oh, no, it was her lip bleeding. I know that Outlaw Thoughts would jump in since he's the expert on the case here.
Yeah, Leighton will let us know where Amber Heard is bleeding from other than her rotten badge.
I used to get nosebleeds all the time. People would accuse me of a coke user.
When I was in junior high and high school, I would get nosebleeds like every day for about a week straight, and then
was it like a weather thing? Because I think that's what my problem was.
Mine would happen like randomly throughout the year, but I'd get
fights.
I get a nosebleed for like a week straight, and then I'd grow 2 inches. So,
well, I wish that had happened to me, but no.
Yeah, you poor bastard. Yours
bled out of my nose.
Yours was probably just a tumor.
Bleeding out of her nose, out of her eyes, out of her wherever. That's an underrated Trump sound bit.
What now?
Do you remember this one?
No.
It was when Megyn Kelly asked him, I can't remember what question. She asked him a question about his verbal abuse of women. It was like 2015, like the first presidential debate. And then after, he thought it was an unfair question, obviously. After the debate, he was being interviewed by someone. He's like, you could just see the blood in her eyes. There was blood coming out of everywhere. Her eyes, her nose, out of her wherever.
No, I don't remember that.
Plot twist, Megyn Kelly is a big, I don't know, she's a big Trump supporter now, but I mean, she did turn out to support him years down the road.
Well, I think a lot of the right kind of fell into that camp early on. Like,
yeah, if he weren't a full-on neocon, then you eventually, I mean, like Glenn Beck did the same thing.
Right, like he was, Trump was the enemy. I mean, to a lot of the neocons, he still is the enemy. I mean, yeah, we've seen that play out over the last 4, 5, 6 years. But yeah, I think a lot of the establishment types, like he was the enemy early on, and then I didn't pay attention early on because I assumed it was going to be Jeb Bush or somebody else squishy like that, and like there was a lot of fanfare around Trump at the time, but I didn't think there was any way that the establishment would actually let him gain enough traction to make a difference. Like I figured he'd be a flash in the pan, and then he'd just kind of wash out, and it would go back to like status quo. The whole Trump moment was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. In retrospect, it was a lot of fun. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say.
Trying to find a good way to segue into that.
I didn't. I just saw this as like a Twitter headline. It was a broken bottle, right?
Wait, surely.
What I saw on Twitter is he raped her. She claimed he raped her with a broken bottle. And I'm just wondering, like, I'm wondering, but I'm not wondering. Exactly what end of the bottle was broken and all of this stuff. But Leighton here is saying it's pure fantasy. I mean, if she came up with it, then.
This is just a contributors moment here.
Hey, Magoo's back. I haven't seen Magoo in the comment section in a while.
He's been trying to work during the week so he can fuck off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well,
or at least that's what he told me last time I tried to invite him on the show. He's like, sorry, man, I've been working hard during the week. I'm like, yeah, working hard.
Don't we all?
So are we gonna lead into the original, or I guess not the original, but
was there an original plan? Are you about to tell me there was an original plan for today?
Well, the name of the episode is Don't Say Pan.
Oh, is this about that teacher?
And yes, we're not talking about Peter Pan. We're going to talk about the new love of Dag's life, this teacher in Florida.
Though Peter Pan is kind of gay.
Really? You don't say.
That's not a hot take. I was hoping I had a hot take there.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that is a hot take.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, women play him in like plays.
Right. I mean, I don't think he's intended to be I don't know. Maybe he is. Who knows? I don't know what the author's intention was for that. We'll have to look it up. Anyway, I don't want that. The great thing about New York Post is you always get like just a whole bunch of crazy ads. Pansexual Florida teacher canned for discussing orientation with students. And this was actually before the Don't Say Gay bill went into effect. And this is also a misleading headline. She didn't exactly get canned. She was on a probationary status and was simply asked not to return. So
she was. I don't know how else to say this in like another like canned term. It was a nice canning. They let her down easy.
Let's see.
She was jarred.
A Florida teacher claims she was fired for discussing her pansexual status with middle school students, whom she then asked to draw pictures representing their own sexual orientation. If she had just answered some general questions about what pansexual means, and not had them fucking draw pictures, she probably would have been all right, honestly. And like the thing that doesn't get mentioned in this is like it says that the students asked her questions, but did they ask her questions because they were curious, or did they ask her questions because she was making a to-do about it?
Yeah, she's making these like giving these like really wide openings for like them to be able to like come in and be like, well, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Like that's definitely or probably what was happening. Also pansexual. I get these mixed up. She is sexually attracted to anything. Yes or no?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Oh, so you don't know the definition either?
I mean, I think so. Here, according to the article, pansexual refers to someone who is attracted to all categories of people, regardless of their sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation.
Okay, so it's not like animals. It's like straight, bi, gay, trans, and other pans.
But not Jews or blacks.
Oh, I have a story about that.
Go, just go. We don't even need to talk about this anymore.
I was at a thrift.
Just drop that right off of there. Here we go.
I was at a thrift store yesterday, looking for some books, and I walked by this guy who I'm assuming worked there because he looked like he was like stocking some shelves or whatever. And he waited until after I like moved over to the next aisle from him, and I hear him go, "You're an Irishman, aren't you?" I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, you could say that. And he goes, "That was a sarcastic response, wasn't it?" I was like, "Well, I mean, you waited till my back was turned to you, so I didn't know if you really wanted me to respond or not. And he's like, so are you an Irishman? And I was like, well, I got actually more English and German in me. And he gets like this close to my face and looks into my eyes and he goes, oh yeah, you got hazel eyes. Hitler would have thrown you in the camps because you got Jewish blood in you. I was like, no. For number one, how dare you?
Tell him Justin's the
No
only one
Jewish
allowed
blood.
to make fun of Jews.
No Jewish blood in there. I probably was throwing people in camps. Just kidding. Was not, but
We already know.
I didn't understand this guy at all. And then he tried to evangelize to me, and I was like, no, I got a church. I'm good, man. Like, he's like, come with me. I was like, no, I gotta go. I actually planned on staying a little bit longer, but I really didn't feel like him pulling me into his office to evangelize because I don't know if because I was a Jew or what.
Probably because you're a Nazi Jew.
Probably that. So that's my story.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Kind of quick, but I got accused. I mean, the guy asked me if I was a Jew.
I mean, I think you were right the first time. It sounds like he straight up accused you of being a Jew.
And also, is this true about hazel eyes?
I have hazel eyes, and I don't have any Jew in me, so I don't know.
Okay, well, this guy's wrong. It's like, yeah, he would have thrown you in camps.
All right, Scott, who is married to a man, said the kids at
So really, she's just play acting.
Anyway, this middle school created flags representing their own sexuality and gender identities ranging from transgender to non-binary to gay. Was that with her her propelling that or promoting that, or was that just what they came up with off the top of their head? First-year teacher posted their creations on her classroom door before administrators told her to took them down. They said it would be in the best interest if I got rid of them now. And then they got rid of her now.
She looks like, in that picture, she looks like our favorite redhead in the administration, Saki.
Well, speaking of our favorite redhead.
Thanks.
No, not you.
Oh.
I've got too many tabs open. Imagine that. She's been
We're
replaced.
really building this up. Oh, I saw this.
So,
Yeah, I once worked in a home with, I don't know, like there were probably 15 staff in this home, 15 to 20 or so. And I was like one of only two males, and it was dominated by Black women. And I enjoyed working with them. They did not enjoy working with each other. This cabinet is about to get insane. Have you had this experience before?
yes. Yes. So, President Joe Biden on Thursday named Karine Jean-Pierre as the new White House press secretary, succeeding Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki was just a bland white chick, so now we're gonna shake it up. Jean-Pierre was born in Haiti and immigrated to the U.S. as a child, growing up in Queens. She will be the first Black woman and the first openly gay person to hold the position, as well as probably the first Haitian immigrant and handful of other firsts, I'm sure.
So I wonder if you have to like check two boxes now.
At least two. Like, you can't just be a woman. Like, if they were looking at Jen Psaki's like resume in 2022 as opposed to in 2021, they'd have been like, sorry, you're only a woman. Can you be gay? Can you be trans? Like, is there something else interesting about you other than the fact that you're a woman?
When Kamala, if Joe Biden survives to 2024 and she's like reapplying for the vice presidency, she's going to make her own little box that says retarded. Be like, Look, I got 2 of them.
Let's see. All of her did you happen to look at her qualifications?
I did not. Or she worked for like a small company, right?
She was a spokeswoman for MoveOn.org during the 2016 election. She worked on Obama's campaigns. It doesn't say that what she did on Obama's campaigns. I'm assuming she was probably a volunteer or something like that. Like, it seems like most of what she's done previously is kind of along the same lines of what everybody else that seems to be getting a position with this administration has done. They check a certain number of boxes, and they have active social media.
Somehow I got on the Move On got my phone number in 2020, and I got texts from them every single day. And I would always like type out some like smart remark as a response, and then it's like I don't even care, and then delete it. Thankfully, I finally got them to stop texting me.
Dude, you're missing the point of getting those texts.
I knew you were gonna tell me this.
So I absolutely love the ones from like the Bernie campaign and the Elizabeth Warren campaign, because I then send them a message back explaining all the ways that not like super long. I try to keep it like tweet length. That way I can reshare it to Twitter if I think it's really spicy. I mean, I'll come back at them with like a tweet length explanation of why their candidate is completely awful, and I always get the response, "We'll take you off this list, thanks." Like, yes, you do that. That would be a wise choice. Oh, speaking of taking people off of the list, we're just gonna drop this out. Since you had your story time, I'm gonna do my story time.
Okay. Then I have another story. Only if Steve approves of it, though.
Steve said do it.
Watching. Okay. It's about
whatever it is. Whatever it is, Steve said do it. So my wife, when she got her phone number that she now has, like when she when I put her on my plan and we got her phone changed over and everything, she got her current number. At the time, she did drug testing for the state for DCS, and I guess the dude who had her phone number, previously was like a drug dealer, and so she kept getting texts from people like asking if she had this, if she had that, she could meet up with this and that, and she kept texting back like, "I'm not him. This is a different person." And so finally one day I got fed up with one of them, and one of them sent a text asking about something, and I took her phone. I was like, "Let me deal with this." And I text back, "Look, jackass, I work for the state and see I work for the state doing drug testing and see state police and sheriffs on a daily basis. So lose this number or it's going to get lose this number or yours and all of your buddies are getting their numbers spread around to every police agency in the state." Said, "I don't want these texts ever again." And the response back was, "Yes, ma'am. Terribly sorry. I'll spread the word." And she never got another text after that. I was like, you've got to be a dickhead to these people when they text. Like, don't be polite with them. Make sure that they tell all their friends this is the wrong person to be fucking with.
Well, I mean, I usually just ignore. I'm a dick to people like when I'm trying to cancel like a internet service or whatever. Like if I'm actually on the phone with someone, they're like pressing me as to why. I keep saying, "No, I don't feel like answering that. No, so I can get off as quickly as I can." But speaking of ignoring, I'm just going to tell the story. It's a short one. A few weeks ago, friend of the show, Steven, who is in the chat, we hung out. So we exchanged numbers or whatever so we could text for our where we'd meet up and what time or whatever. And then when we get there, he goes, "I already had your number because you were on the LPMC list, and I texted you, but you never." I texted you for like an LPMC meetup, but you never responded. It's like, "Oh yeah, that was me saying I'm not interested." Luckily, it wasn't Steve I wasn't interested in hanging out with. It was LPMC folks.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
We did We did a full episode on that on my show Tuesday night. If you're curious, you can, well, not necessarily on that, but just on libertarian stuff in general. So check this out. This is, if you can actually read any of these, I pulled up the Washington Post. I can't remember what the article was. There was an article that I saw, like a headline, and I wanted to pull it up on the Washington Post so I could actually get the full thing and all of it. So I pull it up, and I don't remember what the article was I was looking for because I just started seeing so many different ones, and I was like, oh, where do we go from here? So
U.S. gave into this story is
look, raising feminist sons seemed easy. A daughter, much trickier. Let's see. Senator Collins voices opposition to Democratic push for statutory right to abortion. Why the Democrats probably won't banish the filibuster for abortion. Why the Democrats won't be able to codify Roe into law. There was another one that was why the abortion ruling may help Republicans. Like, is the Washington Post turning into the Daily Wire here?
their version of it, I guess. I don't know. I don't visit this site as often as you do. This is their main page, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is the front page. Like, let's see. Russia tightens its grip on Mariupol as Ukraine seeks more Western aid. I was just told the other day that Russia was disorganized and scattered and losing. How is it that they're tightening their grip if they're disorganized and scattered and losing? Oh, Russian oligarch's $300 million yacht seized by Fiji on behalf of the U.S. So how is this? Let's talk about this for a second.
Is Fiji its own like state? Like, I just assume Fiji is a place that people went to vacation. That's about it.
I don't really know. I think I thought
is
Fiji
it a territory of the U.S.?
See, that I don't know
where Fiji is.
That I also don't know.
I just know it's an island, or maybe
a
group of islands.
Find out. So, what do you think about this? Just this general topic, the U.S. seizing these Russian yachts. Like,
we talked about this, didn't we?
I thought we. See, I can't remember if we talked about this or if I talked about this on Peddling Fiction.
Oh, I don't understand it. Like, what is like? Why the yachts? Is it because they're easy? Like, they're just like the most easily accessible because they venture towards or like away from Russia. So when the U.S. or someone else sees them floating in the water, they can tell it's a Russian yacht, or they have a tracker knowing that it's a Russian yacht, and they're like, "Oh, this is our way of engaging in warfare right now," other than helping Ukraine sink ships as well.
It's the Republic of Fiji, so I think it is an independent state.
All right.
That's about it.
But
that's the only interesting thing I found about Fiji. The $300 million super yacht owned by Russian oligarch Suleiman Karimov was seized Thursday by Fijian authorities on behalf of the United States as part of the ongoing efforts to sanction and punish Russia's elite in response to the invasion of Ukraine. Hey, how does this accomplish anything? How is this legal? Like, how can the U.S. just seize? How can the U.S. just seize non-U.S. citizens' private property? I don't understand how how do they have jurisdiction to do that? That
I am a hypocrite because of, it doesn't even have to be Russia. It could be any other country seized, like Bill Gates yacht. I'd be like, oh, based. But but it is stupid. I'm sure there is some sort of like strategic maneuvering about it, and it's maybe not just like posturing.
I don't see any way that it's anything more. Like, they're seizing these yachts. We did absolutely talk about the fact that it's costing the U.S. taxpayer hundreds of thousands of dollars, like a week, to keep to maintain the upkeep and everything on these yachts. Like, so now these Russian oligarchs aren't even paying for upkeep of their own yachts. We're footing that bill for them. How is this a detriment to them in any way?
I mean, I guess posturing in itself can be strategic as far as for like propaganda purposes. But if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, the guy on the yacht is sort of a good guy.
But like the guys who own these yachts, they're not gonna turn on Vladimir Putin because you seize their yachts. They're just gonna go hang out at their summer home somewhere else.
No.
Right? I mean, like, it's not like you're accomplishing anything by seizing these yachts.
If you want to see, like, I don't know, it's probably still pretty cold in Russia, but shouldn't you wait until the winter to seize their yachts as they're trying to venture south on their yachts to get away from the frozen tundra of their homeland?
I don't know.
Maybe they should just put me in the State Department.
We should both probably be in the State Department. I'm afraid they would require us to shave, though, and that's a non-starter for me.
Is that they require to shave in the State Department?
I don't know. I'm sure they have some sort of grooming standards that we're not meeting.
I'm sure they do have lots of grooming standards.
Let's see. Oh. Which one of these? Yeah, that one. Speaking of grooming standards.
Hey, I saw you were reading off those headlines. I didn't realize that on her deathbed, Roe talked about how she had turned pro-life was all like a complete fabrication. She was acting. You know the story about Roe?
What now?
So Roe was obviously part of the main part of the case. And was it the 70s?
Yeah.
And she was on the pro-choice side. And then apparently years later, she came out as pro-life and then spent the rest of her life until 2017 when she died as a pro-life activist. But on her deathbed, she apparently admitted to that being a complete act. And she had never actually changed her position. Apparently she was used by both sides of the debate to be an activist.
But why?
I don't know.
This
is someone who has sold her soul probably multiple times. And
why? Why would you?
Money.
But has that side really got more money than the other side?
I'll look up her heritage. I don't know.
Laying the Jew jokes on thick today, aren't we?
I didn't say it. I just said look it up.
I
can't remember her name.
I just don't understand why.
Okay, so I had heard that she had switched over, but I didn't hear until the other night when I was researching it that she made this admission on her deathbed. Maybe that's fake too. I don't know.
I don't believe anything anymore.
Well, that's probably the smart way to live. Maybe believe in God.
Yeah.
Then we'll work from there.
That's about it. That's the extent of it.
Why Democrats probably won't get rid of the filibuster for abortion? Because they would hurt themselves in November as well, probably.
Though the conservative Supreme Court appears poised to strike down Roe v. Wade, Democrats control slim majorities in both chambers of Congress, and they have a president and the White House supportive of abortion rights. They also have public opinion on their side, but one thing stops them from passing a federal law protecting abortion rights and codifying Roe into law: the filibuster. The filibuster is a Senate rule that requires 60 votes to pass most legislation. Most controversial legislation is passed on party line votes these days, and it's rare for parties to have 60 senators. Democrats right now only have 50. And that's what the filibuster means for federal abortion rights and how it could be manipulated by either side. And why is it that they won't get rid of it? 2 reasons that they won't get rid of it. Democrats don't have 50 votes among themselves to change the filibuster. Joe Manchin and Kristin Cinema explicitly said that they are opposed to changing the filibuster for abortion. The 2 blocked Democrats' efforts a few months ago to eliminate the filibuster to pass voting rights legislation. And Manchin also doesn't support codifying Roe versus Wade into law. He is one of the few remaining Democrats in Congress who doesn't support abortion rights. So even if Democrats could eliminate the filibuster, they probably wouldn't have votes to expand federal abortion protections. Joe Manchin's like my hero. He's the Democrat we need.
Is he really like if it wasn't strategically like useful for him to be a Democrat in the district that he's in, like, don't you think he would just like switch over?
Probably. He's from an interesting part of West Virginia. It's a lot of coal country. It's a very heavily unionized part of the state. It's probably more conservative leaning, but it's that yellow dog Democrat type of part of the country. So like everybody there is a Democrat because everybody there has always been a Democrat, and everybody there will always be a Democrat as long as whoever the Democrat is that represents them behaves the way they want that. So they want a socially and fiscally conservative pro-union Democrat. This is basically what that kind of boils down to. Yeah, if everybody in his district realized that the Democratic Party was unsalvageable and just a complete woke joke, and they all flipped over Republican, it would probably make sense for him to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, if he like sat down like most of his voters and explained to them what all the Democratic Party entailed these days, they'd probably be appalled. But I can support their ignorance is bliss, to be honest. I mean, sometimes it's better to not know what's going on. At the same time, I would not want to associate myself with anything near the Democratic Party. Unless it's Joe Manchin, I guess, and you live in that part of the state.
Did you see the thing where Kristin Cinema said she uses her tits to manipulate Republicans?
I did not.
Oh, now I gotta look it up. Let's see. Kristin Cinema tits. That's gonna not give me the results I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't think those are going to be real. Those pictures are real, Justin.
That was not the right search. I mean, apparently she's the first openly bisexual woman elected as a.
I think I remember that when she was actually elected.
Didn't even realize that was a thing.
It's fake.
Oh, I mean, I didn't know that was a thing for her. I mean,
I could see it.
Let's see if
though. What was it? Who was that lady that was recently in Congress who was like messing with her part of her staff, her female staff?
All of them?
Oh, well, the one that it came out.
I don't know.
Kristin
Cinema brags about her cleavage, claims her boobs are key to wooing Republican men.
What is the actual quote here?
Let's see.
First of all, that's not her.
No, part of the author. So this is from, according to America's website of record, Washington Free Beacon. There's a passage in the book that discusses the senator and how she uses the gifts God gave her, per the authors. Senator Cinema joked with Democrats about how easy it was for her to charm Republican men and boasted knowingly to colleagues and aides that her cleavage had an extraordinarily persuasive effort on the uptight men of the GOP. This might explain why so many of her female Democrat colleagues are jealous of her.
Is it a known fact that they're jealous of her?
I don't know. The book also makes the claim.
Jealous.
The book also makes the claim that Joe Biden was as confused by Kristin Cinema as he is by TikTok, and he also wasn't
as he is by everything.
Everything.
Just...
And he also wasn't happy the senator told him to keep his senile old man stink out of Arizona. I like her a lot. I might have to join the Democratic Party if we can get more Joe Manchins and Kristin Cinemas in control. So isn't that the problem though? Is that like all right, let's have this conversation.
Oh boy.
I have said this before and I stand by it. I really would like to see and would absolutely vote for a good Democrat. The problem is there are literally two of them. And I mean, on the national level anyway, I'm sure there are states that have decent Democrats, but like here in Indiana, I haven't seen any. Like if the Democrats could get their shit together and not run with all of this, like just as psychotically woke, progressive, off the fucking rails bullshit that they do, that has gone from, from what it was 20, 30 years ago to the insanity that it is now. I would probably get behind a good Democrat that didn't completely push all of this woke, psychotic BS.
Is there a specific race you're thinking of here, or just
any really? Like the Democrat or the Republican candidate here in Indiana, or the Republican governor here in Indiana, he's absolutely terrible. Like a Democratic governor in Indiana with a supermajority in the House and the Senate would accomplish absolutely jack shit. It would be, it wouldn't do anything really to the state. So if you've got a decent Democrat, then cool. But the problem that we had in like 2020 was that while our Republican governor was behaving like a Democratic tyrant, the Democratic nominee was on the other side saying, he didn't go far enough. You need to be more of a tyrant. And if I'm in charge, we're going full 1984. No holds barred. I'm going to have Big Brother in your house. Or, some such shit. It was pretty damn close to that. Like why do the Democrats, when faced with bad Republicans, instead of like addressing the bad issues of the bad Republicans, they instead go even further bad? Like, I don't get it. Like
clown world, man. And I knew as soon as I said, is there a specific race? Waiting over here, Asian, maybe German. As soon as I said it that way. Oh, yeah, and then also, I did see that picture of Rittenhouse and Loomer.
Where is that written?
What a proper young man.
He is a very fine young man. He seems to hold himself together quite well.
But I can't help you with your predicament here of wanting so badly to vote for a Democrat. You just cannot find one.
I don't necessarily want so badly to vote for one. I wish as a party they would be better. Like,
if there was more than just one Tulsi Gabbard running in 2020. That's what you're saying. they all were nuts, and then there was she.
Right. Like it was all just complete psychopaths, and then Tulsi, and it's the same way with like Manchin, Cinema, and the Senate and the House. Like there are a couple others who are not horrible, but generally speaking, they really are. I'm having trouble finding this picture. Leighton, send me the damn picture. We'll just cut to the chase. Instead of me looking for it, we'll just have him send it to us. And
The producer of the show.
Look, I produce enough shows. I don't need to be doing this one too. While we're at it, we'll throw that up there. That's a pretty good one.
When is that trial supposed to end?
That's another latent question. I should have just sent him the link. Should have just sent him the show link and get all the answers to all of our questions.
But he's working. Like Magoo pops in for
whatever.
one comment.
Working.
He still isn't.
Steve said it doesn't end soon enough. That is 100%.
The show?
No. No, the trial.
Oh.
Yeah, you're working. You're always working.
There it is. Put it in air quotes.
Working. All right. The best topic for today and the way we're going to wrap this thing up. Speaking of working. CNN's new president promises to work towards regaining the trust.
Well, this guy's clearly a pedophile. Look at it. Look at that face. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued.
Supposedly. Presumably. In theory.
Sorry I talked over your headline. I just had to throw that in there.
A memo from CNN's new president was released with promises that the network will win back the many people who have lost trust in the news media. Chris Licht sent his name is Licht. Obviously, he's a pedophile. Supposedly.
Allegedly.
Rumored.
He's addicted to coke, too.
Probably a
Allegedly.
Jew. It's probably a Jew as well. You don't get to be in charge of a big news corporation unless you're a Jew. So our new best
what about
friend,
the fact check this podcast media enterprise?
that guy is definitely not a Jew. He's probably pretty anti-Semitic, honestly. Let's see. So he replaced former President Jeff Zucker. CNN must be a vital, relevant, and respected part of our culture. Sadly, too many people have lost trust in the news media.
Did Zucker get fired?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we can be a beacon in regaining that trust by being an organization that exemplifies the best characteristics of journalism, fearlessly speaking truth to power, challenging the status quo, questioning groupthink, and educating viewers and readers with straightforward facts and insightful commentary, while always being respectful of different viewpoints. First and foremost, we should and will be advocates for the truth. Licht replaced Zucker following an ethics investigation into the network that resulted in the former president resigning because of a consensual relationship he had with a coworker at the time. Since then, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar has resigned amid its merger with Discovery.
The CNN board's like, look, man, this can't be consensual. We're looking for non-consensual relationships here.
That seems to be the shtick for CNN. It's going to be non-consensual and underage. So what do you think about this? Is CNN going to change? Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember when ESPN laid off literally hundreds of writers and contributors, and they had a new president that they were going to stick to sports and get away from all the woke dumb bullshit, and did that ever actually materialize? Because I have watched and read very little ESPN since then, and every time I have, they seem to dive off into some woke bullshit. Like, it doesn't seem like they actually stuck to that plan.
No, they didn't change at all. CNN won't change either.
Like, if ESPN wasn't owned by Disney, would they even be relevant at this point? Like,
probably not. Like, I used to be like a.
didn't mean to ask you a question as you were like going into a yawn. Terrible timing on my part.
This would be a time for that GIF, whatever, however you say it. I sent in the chat. But no, I like ESPN. I use it for the live sports that I want to watch. I can't remember the last time I turned on like ESPN radio in the car. Actually, yes, I can. I had run out of podcasts to listen to while I was out working, and I was like, oh, let's see what's on ESPN radio. And like I turned it on, and it was some guy spurging out about Djokovic back when he wasn't playing in the tournament because of not getting the shot. And he went on this rant about how he was selfish and blah, blah, blah. I was like, how can he be selfish when like tennis is like that was a singles competition? So, I didn't understand his argument.
And it's not like in tennis it's not like basketball where you're like actually physically bumping into each other, or or football where you're literally like face to face 100% of the time. Like, it's tennis. Like,
it is tennis.
The closest you get to each other is maybe if both of you rush the net at the same time, you might get within like 4 to 6 feet of each other.
Or if you're like I don't know what they call them, the judge or the ump, and you're doing a Serena Williams contest and she freaks out at you and gets in your face and spits and slobbers and yells all over you.
But,
I hear this is a common occurrence with her.
I wouldn't know. I don't really. When I do watch tennis, it's pretty much only the men's tennis.
It's not the Williams sisters. Do you play tennis?
No.
I can't play it.
No.
I think there's like a defect in me where like I swing the racket and the ball only goes sky high. Like, I've tried to flatten it out and it just doesn't work.
I hit it, smash it straight into the ground every time.
So we have opposite problems here.
I'm going for the spike every time. I do like volleyball. I play around the net at volleyball, so if I can get next to that net, I'm going for the spike just smash that fucker through the ground. No, I have a lot of problems with sports that involve swinging something other than baseball. Like,
this
golf,
is why you wear a cup every time.
Like with golf, if you sit a ball on a tee and tell me to hit it straight, there is absolutely no chance. Like, it's either gonna like dribble out about 20 feet in front of me, or it's gonna go way over there or way over there. I managed to hit a ball perfectly that way. Like, I don't even know how it went that way, but luckily there was just a pond.
Facing the way you're facing now, and it went.
Yeah, like I was facing this way, and the ball went that way, and I don't know. I hit it off the tee, and it just went.
I don't even know if you can like use that to your benefit on the golf course.
It went straight in a pond, so like, I don't know.
So
same with the tennis ball. Like, tennis ball, odds are I'm not going to make contact with it, and if I do, I'm just going to smash that fucker into the ground. On the other hand, if you put me in the batter's box with one of these bats back here,
Sorry, baseball or softball?
Either.
Okay.
You put me in a batter's box with one of these nice bats back here and throw a ball at me 80 miles an hour and tell me to put it somewhere, I'll put it there every time. Like, I don't know. I have some sort of a mental defect when it comes to other sports.
It's the balls he's fine with. He just doesn't know how to use a shaft real well.
You're about to get the shaft. That's why I keep this thing handy.
Too bad we can't pull up the Dickmobile from yesterday in the chat.
Oh, I can absolutely pull up the old Dickmobile. Everybody needs to see the Dickmobile. We got a good run off of this thing in the chat. So I showed my son, and
Use the words.
That was a terrible use of words. I showed my son, and he was just dying laughing. So this is me on my way to parties when I was in college.
What were all the names we came up with?
Oh fuck, we went through a bunch. Let's see. The crotch rocket.
Sperm rider.
Cockcycle, Dickmobile, crotch rocket, Dick Dash, Uber Dicks, Sperm Rider, Grape Hangers. Hey, check my spermometer.
I really am terrified that Clyde is going to show up to my house in that thing.
With his little fedora or whatever.
Yeah. What
kind of hat is that he?
I don't know. It's like a fisherman's hat.
I don't think so. I think fishermen are too heterosexual for something like that.
That's true.
Let's see.
They do prevent sunburn though, and I hear that.
That hat prevents sunburn? How? It doesn't even cover anything. What do you mean it prevents sunburn?
Maybe we're thinking of a completely different hat. What hat does Clyde wear?
He wears that little yarmulke looking thing.
Is he Jewish? He's a tiny hat person.
He better not be. We'll have to kick him off the show. It'd be a shame.
Speaking of hats, I don't know why I made this connection. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, and I did see one article that accused whites of being racist by culturally appropriating this holiday.
That's the kind of hat he has.
Oh, that like an English boy hat. Yeah, that's not what I was. There's no way that's saving you from sunburn.
This is why. And this is why he is Andre from the league.
So did you celebrate Cinco de Mayo yesterday?
No, what are you supposed to do for Cinco de Mayo? I don't know.
Yes, I didn't realize.
Eat tacos and drink Corona? I don't know.
That's the thing is I got a burrito and a taco yesterday, and I didn't realize until after I gulped them down that it was Cinco de Mayo.
You're appropriating Carlos's culture, and you must be punished for that.
Well, I don't see Carlos in the chat to defend himself.
You are going to catch a severe case of the revenge of Montezuma today, as punishment for appropriating Carlos's culture.
That could be good. Like, I don't know. What's Montezuma going to do to me?
You haven't heard of that? Montezuma's revenge?
No. Is there a specific thing that happens?
It's when you drink the water in Mexico and then you blow your butthole out for 3 days.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound good at all.
Could be cleansing. You never know.
Just a parasite cleanse.
Let's see. Back to this one. The Department of Justice establishes Office for Environmental Justice. Did you send this? Who sent this?
No.
Did you read this?
No.
Damn it.
This
One of
is
us has to have read the article.
Do what?
I said one of us has to have read the article for this to be.
Oh, you didn't read this article either?
No, I can
speak to... Who was I listening to? I was listening to someone the other day, and they're like, yeah, the next thing isn't going to be so we've moved on from viruses, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one came back. But weird weather patterns is going to be the next thing that comes down. Like ones that are manufactured in a lab, perhaps.
Let's see.
And this is why we'll have to lock down next.
The new office, which will be known by the initialism OEJ, that's terrible, would oversee and help guide the Justice Department's wide-ranging environmental justice efforts. What are environmental justice efforts? I don't understand what this means. The office was created as part of the department's comprehensive environmental justice enforcement strategy in compliance with the Biden administration's January 2021 executive order directing the Attorney General to develop such a strategy in conjunction with the EPA. Garland said the OEJ would initially be led by Acting Director Cynthia Ferguson, an attorney from the Environmental Enforcement Section of the DOJ, Environment and National. What does the Department of Justice have to do with the environment? I'm not understanding how there's a connection. Like, are they going to start? Was this going to be like the EPA on fucking steroids? Like, I'm not clear on what's going on with this.
Yeah, what differentiates their job from this job? I don't know. This looks like a long read.
It does. We'll have to. Maybe not that long. Oops.
Did Clyde send this? Like, it's on brand for him to send us an article that he read.
No, he doesn't even read
it
for
the show.
He won't even have read it because he'll send an article and show up for the show. I'll be all right. So what's this article? What does the article say? And then he'll go, I don't know. I didn't read it. Like, I just sent it.
Just thought the headline was interesting.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. That's really helpful.
I went to Gatlinburg last year. Around this time, actually. I'm reading the ad at the top.
What? Oh, I see it now. You just like out of the blue. I went to Gatlinburg last year. Like, all right, good for you.
Just trying to keep the conversation going.
Having a stroke?
No.
What's going on over there? Let's see. Biden administration announced in January that it was going to spend $5.5 billion in funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law to advance environmental justice by working to better protect communities from climate change and protect vital ecosystems and the people and businesses throughout the country that rely on them. It's all a bunch of cockamamie bullshit. None of it actually makes any sense or does anything. Like, what are they actually fucking doing? And Biden was talking about that he reduced the deficit in his first year. No, bitch, you did not. I don't know what cereal box they're writing numbers on the back of and telling you that you reduced anything, but that didn't fucking happen.
He's got Brian Williams crunching the numbers for him.
Him and his grandkids are just sitting around writing shit down on coloring paper, and then whatever they come up with, he just gets up there and he's like, hey, guess what? We did this. Oh, me and my new best friend. He's reverting back to
childhood.
Yeah, whatever. What comes before? I guess it's adolescence.
Yeah, I guess that works. Elementary age.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
What a time. Feast.
I do not have enough. Oh.
You're a little earlier. Feast mode.
I do not have enough alcohol in this cup of coffee to be dealing with all of this dumb shit today. Let's see. I think that's all we got. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
We fumbled through this one a little bit more than we normally do. We were slightly ill-prepared. Not really ill-prepared, just after coming off.
I feel like we started well, and then it just kind of teetered out.
Well, like coming off of the week that we've had with Roe versus Wade, the Pfizer data dump, all of the insanity that's come around that, like, eventually you were going to run out of shit to talk about because I didn't want to keep beating those horses to death. I've talked about them on multiple shows over the last week.
I could show you the texts I got all week long, and it's just been a rough week for me.
Like, right? Like, have you been having like private conversations with friends about this stuff too? Like
Private conversations, maybe not necessarily about this stuff, but
well, I have been
yeah.
because I do have friends who differ on opinions as far as the pro-life, pro-choice argument goes, and we have had incredibly good conversations. Like that's a good thing about talking to actual like longtime friends that you actually love and respect and trust, is that you can have those conversations and you can openly and honestly have those conversations because you know it's not going to be ugly. Nobody's going to get mad or call you names or anything like that. And at the end of the day, if you do disagree, you're going to agree to disagree, and everybody moves on with life as if it never happened. But you know, it's how are we going to go about doing that? I don't even
see what happens with me is I'll have a friend come to me and be like, "Oh, I read the article you wrote. ... It's like, should I ask how you felt about it, or are we just going to leave it at that? Thanks for reading.
That was a really good article.
Thank you.
I really liked it. I even left a comment on it because it did you did kind of tie in a number of different things that we had talked about earlier in the week on this show and stuff. Like it was.
I wrote it in between our first show this week and our middle one, so.
I thought it was very well done. I appreciated it.
Thank you. markmetz.substack.com.
Oh, I was literally just putting it in the chat for anybody who's.
I guess that's a way to do it as well.
Yeah, see, if you knew how to operate this whole thing, you could have done it yourself.
I could have figured out how to do that, but maybe it would have taken 5 minutes.
What does that sound? Is the quarterback hitting a bong or something in your room?
No, the quarterback is nowhere to be found in my room. That is my coffee maker. You can hear that, bro?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Interesting.
I have extremely good hearing though. Like I hear everything. It's okay. I'll edit that out in post because we do all that on this show.
Yeah, lots of editing.
All right. Well.
Oh, it's time for you to plug your show now.
Oh, since you plugged your Substack, yeah. My other
Where you
show
can find me plugging my stuff in the most recent episode.
Yeah, Mark's a regular on my show as well. So my other show is the Fact Check This podcast, and you can actually find that on YouTube or any of the podcatchers at Fact Check This podcast. That's about it. I have a Substack, but I have a Substack, but I haven't actually started writing anything yet. I'm trying to decide. I still haven't decided what direction I want to go with that. I think it's actually going to be a more of like a spiritual journey blog type thing, which would force me to get back into like legitimately studying and looking at stuff more seriously. So I think that would be a good thing for me personally. Got anything else we need to plug here? May 28th, we will be doing The Night Before, where we're all going to sit around and get plastered and talk shit, and Mark's going to be the house mother and tell us how bad we are.
The designated streamer, if you will.
He'll be the one that hits the end button whenever we get out.
I might crack open a vanilla Coke that night.
When you came home with me and Masha the other night, and she said she had like slammed a Four Loko, and then she was drinking beer, and I had my like mixed drink and was mixing as we were doing the stream, and you're over there drinking a glass of milk. It's like, you wholesome bastard.
She's like, I got a Bud Light. I go, I got milk.
She was like, oh, I thought that might have been a White Russian. It's like, nope, just milk.
Just raw milk. Straight from the cow's udder.
That's the way to do it. You gotta get under there and lick it to make sure it's clean when you get done. Yeah. All right, we better close it out.
We do have a coffee code. So since we're plugging a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, go over to rymcoffee.com and buy some of their wonderful, delicious coffee. That's probably what Mark is percolating there in the background and making all the gurgly noises. And be sure to use the promo code SQUAW. That's SQUAW.
See, it's hard sometimes.
I don't know why I suddenly thought that I forgot how to spell that.
At least you didn't do it confidently like me. SQAW.
just spell it wrong and keep plowing through like nothing happened. So that's the promo code SQUAW, SQUAW, and that'll get you 10, 15, 20%. I don't know. Send them a message and haggle them for more of a discount than what you got whenever you hit checkout. And support the show. Also, go over to Paloma Verde CBD and just send a very friendly little note to Carlos and Vanessa and tell them that they should really be sponsors and have a promo code for the morning after. We will accept Beaner or Wetback as a good promo code for the morning after. So yeah, I think that's it. There. Are you happy, Leighton? I said Beaner and Wetback to close the show. Let's see if that gets us banned. It won't.
Way we can drink it straight black.
You can. Oh, I'm not dropping an in bomb. We're just gonna end it. Just end it now.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.